time. See, you can have fun with sound effects. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody here on this beautiful Thursday evening. Well, thought it would be fun before I head out to Atlanta if we got together for a slumber party. Wouldn't that be fun? Would you all like that? Yeah, slumber away, right? Good to see everyone. As you can see, my compadre is asleep. Oh, hello, Oklahoma. Hi, Hope. Thanks for helping out today. Ooh. Hi, Terry Renner. Oh, my goodness, we're having a hot flash. Woo. Good to see you, Valerie Hyde and Debbie K. For people who are not getting the notifications, I've heard that if you unsubscribe and subscribe, that can help. Of course, what does that do to your membership? I don't know. For those people who don't know, it looks like the Feel Good Festival got rained out. Can you believe that? But I've got a ticket and, excuse me, coughing. I've got to find some pen, paper, all that good stuff. Anyway, so I figured, obviously I need to go to Atlanta, Georgia for something. Don't you think that's a rather odd thing to have happen where somebody says, I really want you to be one of the speakers. Can you come? And you say, sure, that'll be fun. And they treat you to the whole thing. And then everything gets canceled, but you've still got a free, nice hotel. So it's like, okay, I got a ticket to ride. That's right, Rita. So what the heck, right? I got to go and do some work. Oh, thank you very much, Hayes. I love coffee, so that will definitely be used to buy a cup of coffee, and I'm very grateful. Yeah, speaking of coffee, I'm going to try and do as much touring of Atlanta as I can. This ice is making my coffee worse. I'd get to meet the love of my life, but that would be cool. But if you go there thinking, I'm going to go there, then it doesn't happen. It's okay. It was canceled. I think that everything's going to be fine. Like when it happens, it's going to be so much better. And so, thank you, Tricia Gallagher. How kind of you. I do appreciate that. So I am going to Atlanta and I'm going to shoot some videos. And I don't know what's going on with my throat right now. I have been deep cleaning, getting the apartment ready, so that might be part of it. But wow, my home was a mess today. Oh, thank you. I have not washed my hair yet. I figure the first time I wash it, a lot of the dye is going to come out. He did a great job. It's a little darker than I wanted. The next time he does it, he does like the temporary dyes. I don't want anything that's going to hurt my hair or the environment. So it'll just wash out. Next time I'll do it lighter. Does anybody want to do a blitz? Oh, thank you, Redwoods. You're awfully sweet. What would you all like to do? It's your slumber party. I thought I'd get so many requests. Can you hang out at night with us? Can you do a slumber? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can blitz away. I can, I put a list up of the subjects that I think people are most interested in. And believe it or not, politics is not what people are interested in. People are interested in what's happening with global warming, whether or not we're going to... Oh, good to see you, Anna. Hi. Thank you for that. A lot. Ooh, I got the call, so I'm going to have to get going here. I got the blitz, blitz, blitz away. Yeah, so there's a ton of things that we can throw on everything from voter suppression to UFOs to saving the planet, saving the economy. Aw, thank you, Courtney. You're so sweet. So let's do it. Yeah, North Texas. Well, it's kind of goes, it's interesting. Y'all want to talk a little bit about Texas? We can do that. You know, it's interesting when you meditate, you get rid of all of the voices out there and you just get to the base of what is the truth or when the group of congressmen went to Russia and accepted Russian money, some came back pushing Russian propaganda. In doing so, did they agree to help Russia? I don't know anything about the question, Darlene. It's a good question, but I don't know anything about people taking money or anything like that. Yeah, so when I went in, look, I saw where the energy was going, and the energy was going towards the new green economy. And nothing is left but the new green economy, and that the grid and everything would be turned over. Everything was rapidly being converted. And so when I followed the energy into Texas, I saw this massive, almost like a war between where Texas is headed and the dinosaurs, the last holdouts, the people that are holding on to steer, right? The meat industry, the cattle industry, factory farming, which is really important to the old Texas economy, oil. It must be absolutely terrifying if that is how you made your money for who knows how many generations. And then you also look at the Texas oil and realize that it's all going to come to an end. I think that if I sat in their shoes, I would be absolutely terrified because they're not ready for this. But that is not going to change the fact that I really feel why when we went into the energy, we said, keep your eyes on Texas. I think we're now there about the voter suppression. They're just terrified of where the planet is headed. And I mean, we can take a look at that first if y'all would like to do that. We can look at Texas. We can look at the change in the economy, voter rights. There's just so much going on with Texas, but also we see in Wisconsin and Arizona voter suppression going on. Let's do it. You all want to do the empath's prayer, and then we can. Yeah, isn't it Comanche and Apache both, Connie? Oh, the weather's been crazy in Georgia? Well, I love Georgia, so hopefully it'll be kind to me when I get there. All right, let's do it. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. So the first thing I think we'll look at, just because it is so terrifying, is Texas voter suppression. Oh, Pat, you were North. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know the difference. I knew it was the general area, but didn't know the. All right, did I pin that all right? Yes, I did. Okay, let's do this. We got the empath's prayer done. Let's take a look. Good to see you all. I had a lot of feedback about putting myself in the shoes of Britney Spears' mom and dad. Her name is Lynn. His name is, I don't judge any of the people whose remote views I do. All I can tell you is when I put myself in the shoes of her mom at that time, that was how I felt about her. What's interesting is that as a remote viewer, sometimes people will say, Whimsy, I'm upset with you that you possibly could say that. You mean you're upset with me that I could possibly say that when I'm delivering a remote about how Britney Spears' mom felt at the time of the concert? It's like the purpose of HCRV is so that we can see through the eyes of another human being, and we rarely see ourselves the way others sees us. The thing that I thought was interesting about the Britney Spears case was that I know just from, all families have these issues, somebody who's in mental pain or drug addiction, etc., and those difficult choices that families have to make. So it was interesting to be in the shoes of her parents and the people overseeing her healthcare, because it's not the lens that the Free Britney isn't from that lens. So, but it was interesting to get the feedback that people were upset. But mine is not to judge. Mine is simply to remote, to give the information as the person sees it. All right, what's going on with the voter suppression in Texas? I think I'm going to do a 12 card because I'm really curious about this question. All right. Definitely people fighting the good fight. It's interesting when you see the base of the matter, it's the 7 of Wands. And that is the person that stands on the high ground and fights against the attack, but they've taken a higher position. So there's that. There's also an aspect to this that one is defending the land. The karma here is that it's going to the courts. It's going to the courts. And so then that becomes the question. People are concerned. Thank you, Marie. That's very kind of you. People are very concerned about whether or not the courts are going to side with this in some way, particularly with the Supreme Court's decision 6-3 over certain voting laws. But let's take a look here. Not going anywhere. Inverted Chariot card is the first card. What's crossing is 4 of Pentacles. There's something here about Congress potentially holding money or starving out Texas. Look to possible financial penalties against Texas, similar to what was going on in the 70s, and also what was going on in the 60s with Alabama, 70s with getting educational funding for Utah, etc. 4 of Pentacles, the fact that it's going nowhere. This could indicate, and the fact that the higher ground is with justice, it could indicate that this is not going to bode well for Texas. They're going to lose. Also, you can see Ace of Swords, victory within 1 year, victory after tears. What sits below us, 10 of Pentacles. The family, the legacy of Texas, also the secrets potentially that are going on with Texas, the past placement victory, headed into nightmare. 9 of Swords. We will be victorious long term. If you're looking at the Ace of Swords in the 4th house, we're building towards a victory within 1 year. But boy, I see potentially a real nightmare in the near future. With that 9 of Swords sitting there. Look at that, in the 6th house, which is the near future. But look at what we're preparing for. Where we're at right now, Queen of Wands, justice ye must pursue, right? You can't keep kicking the can down the road when she shows up, right? You can see justice here, and you can see Queen of Wands, my way or the highway. Hard-headed woman. There is the case that they are arguing. Texas legislation, hopes and fears. that we will be able to see our way through this. The final outcome, it's over. I don't see them being able to pull a lot of this stuff off because there appears to be a potential punishment that could happen to them in the way they could. The federal government could punish them financially. You know, you got the Queen of Wands here, leadership with the Page of Pentacles. The other in relationship with us, the law, a Three of Cups, the hope and fear, the agreement, and then heartbreak. I think we're going to win, but boy, this is not looking good. This is, you know, Texas is really going through something. This is a real war between the old ways and the new ways. I got to do one more throw on just the future economy of Texas. I just want to do the future economy of Texas, 4 cards. What is going on with Texas and the economy of Texas? Here's the problem. The problem is states' rights versus federal rights. You have the state of Texas, which wants to do certain things. There are certain people in Texas that want to do certain things because it's part of their ethos, their values, their belief systems. But you also see it being challenged. You have here the Hierophant, the ethos of the state, the High Priestess coming in, which is knowledge and information. You also have Queen of Swords, which carries the sword of justice. And the final outcome for Texas is the new green economy. And so I would tell people to take a breath when it comes to Texas. We're going to have to fight. They're a pain in the tuchus. They don't want to change. They don't want to surrender to the new green economy. But they really have no choice because it is the only economy that's left. And so the sooner that Texas can accept where we're headed, the better. I have to close the window. I apologize. It's a little bright for me. So basically what the cards are saying, oh, hi, Renee, good to see you. So basically what the cards are saying is that for Texas, it's a real fear of what's happening environmentally in terms of the changes that are going on, the new grid, the new laws pertaining to the environment, the fear that these restrictions are going to have an impact on the economy, and the fear that they won't be bailed out. The meat industry won't continue to be bailed out. You have people in Congress right now that are trying to shut down the meat industry the way that it used to be. People like Cory Booker. Now we have a lot of die-off of these birds, songbirds. The concern is that, say, for example, you have something escaping from a slaughterhouse or some virus escaping from a factory farm. And that's because the animals in the factory farms are living in very crowded conditions, and there's risk for all kinds of influenzas, including, we think, COVID. But there's some evidence that the data was suppressed about that. So what happens theoretically is that it gets into the watershed, right? The waste and the runoff of these sick and dying animals gets into the runoff, and then you have mosquitoes. The mosquitoes start to have larvae in the water in the runoff, which has the animal sewage, and then they infect other animals, and then you can have new genetic mutations. So the concern is that with some of these songbirds that are dying in Eastern Europe, in Eastern United States, they're saying, well, it can't be the cicadians that they're eating because it's happening in areas where there's no cicadians. Is it viral? Is it something that we've created? How bad is this with the songbirds? I'm going to go ahead and just put this up here. So the songbirds, there's been a huge dying in Eastern United States. They're testing negative for the avian strains that we know about, which is different than saying that they don't have a type of avian flu. The avian strains we've been testing for, they're negative. They're also negative for a couple of other things. So I think now I just want to see what's going to happen with that. And I want to find out if it has anything to do with something that could have potentially happened with factory farms. Okay. Okay. Let's see why the songbirds are dying in the East. If we can get any information, I'll do a blitz on it. Oh, hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Why are the songbirds? What's wrong with the songbirds? Oh, thank you, Sue. It's very kind of you. Mila looks so cute there. I think it's coming from one main location. I feel it is going to be linked to, I think it may be linked to human behavior. Let me see here. It has something to do with human behavior. It has something to do with, it's going to be linked to the contaminated sites where they're getting sick are somehow associated with poor conditions that in some business. But this doesn't look like a pesticide. You have the investigation happening. I think they're going to work backward and trace it back to the locations where the infections happened. There's something here about money. It's almost like a leak or something, because you have the money and then you have the devil and people in power. And then the final outcome, 10 of Swords and Lover, which leads me to think there's some kind of corruption or leak or contamination, and that somehow we are somehow responsible. So if it's, I don't know if they checked. Well, my concern, Terry, yeah, I feel like I keep going to the water and going to a contaminated site. So if you're going to if the birds are if they're getting bitten by mosquitoes that are infected by, that's what happened with the West Nile virus. So if you have contaminated water with some kind of disease in it in certain unmanned facilities that are not being properly monitored for cleanliness, that seems to be, it's going to get linked back to that, from what I can figure out. Connie, what we know about the condition of the birds, it's starlings, blue jays. So, we look at what they eat. They eat bugs, right? We know that their eyes are encrusted when they come in and that they are having nervous system types of symptoms, which are similar to a type of infection that cicadians can get. But the problem is that it's happening in areas where there are no cicadians. So they're looking at parasites in the stomach. They're looking at parasites, funguses, viruses. What eat bugs? Like songbirds eat various different bugs. So we will figure it out. Unfortunately, it's very scary. I mean, if for example, COVID comes from animals like bats, say for example, this new form of COVID-19, if theoretically it got out of, if it was infecting songbirds, that's pretty horrifying. It's horrifying how these viruses, we can get them from birds and then birds can get them from us. The birds can also give them to the pigs and then it changes into swine flu. And at that point, genetically, it's actually easier for us to contract because we're more like a swine genetically than we are a bird. So it's very, very scary. All right. Yeah, heat breeds bacteria. Good point. So if they're drinking, if there's dirty, filthy runoff because companies are not properly getting rid of their sewage, etc., and if it's teeming with bacteria, parasites, fungi, and if that's the water source for the birds, then theoretically that would be another way that they could get something. It is very, very sad. If vaccinated, should we still wear masks? I think that there's times to wear masks, yeah, because if you're around people that cannot vaccinate or children, pregnant women, anybody who's not vaccinated. But if you're by yourself or you're with everybody and they're all vaccinated, no. But I think I'm still taking my mask certain places because I don't assume everybody's been vaccinated. All right, so the next questions. Let's see what we got going on here. Is happy slumber party, everybody. What time is it where you're at? That's what I'd like to know. It's 7:30 here, which is kind of cool. Reading everybody's comments. Is anybody worried about the fire season this year? Do you want me to throw on that? It's very scary, right? We raised money I think we planted 1,350 trees so far. Oh, 10:30. So that's perfect for a slumber party. Fire. Okay, so I heard that the manatees also are in trouble in Florida, which is really, really scary. 7:30 in Tucson. Very nice. Yeah, you can still get test positive. If you've been vaccinated, you can still get an exposure, but you won't get sick or anything like that. Oh, London. It's 3:32 in the morning in London. London's a great town. Too bad it's so expensive. 4:30 in Hawaii. Is that right? 87 degrees in Tucson. Anybody in Australia? It's nice when I get on later because then we can get people in other parts of the world. Oh, I don't know about a rebirth. I think we created it. I think that science created this disaster. I think we gave too much power to this. We put our heads in the sand and let the psychopaths be in charge. I think that psychopathy is associated with extinction and cooperation is associated with survival. And we have to fix it. London's one of my favorite cities too. What is behind wanting to give what? I don't know anything about that question, Marie. I wasn't aware that we were doing that. We were giving Wi-Fi to Cuba. Wow, he was in the helicopter that crashed. That's wild, Sandy. Thank God he's okay. All right, so Bugs Bunny is asking us if we can take a look at Blitz the wildfires that are happening in the West. Let me take a look at Oregon first, okay? Oregon wildfires. Oregon wildfires. Well, Mila's awake. All I did today was clean, 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 clean. That's all I did today. All right, let's see. What about the wildfires in Oregon? Immediately I go into it, I feel like people are yelling and screaming and arguing in Oregon, and that's not helping the situation. People are not cooperating. People are just getting upset. And I feel opposition. I feel like there are people in Oregon that have opposition to helping the situation. Ten of Swords is not good in terms of, if we're concerned about Oregon wildfires. There's a feeling here that people are sabotaging efforts to cooperate. Oh, it's probably the loggers, I would think, the wood. I think there are people that have a vested interest in sabotaging efforts, environmental efforts. There's concern here from business, lack of cooperation. There has to be more oversight and more working together between loggers and certain groups in Oregon, because this is the wood industry. This is secrets. It's also inheritance, devastation to be betrayed. Yeah, Mila is in on it. A new contract, new business leadership, new family, entrepreneur, we get our wish. Things are going to be okay. Even if there are extreme fires, I think that what they're saying is the underlying solution for Oregon will be resolved, and it has to do with how we do business with certain groups in Oregon, like the logging industry, etc. But the fact that we have a wish card coming in over the Ace of Wands with, thank you, my love, with Biden and patience or temperance and sobriety, you can see it here. So let me move it out here so you can see it. Is a very good sign. I really feel good, actually, about Oregon. I feel that we will find a way to to make this profitable for everybody. It looks energetically like new entrepreneurship and new business that's ultimately everyone's happy, right? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the kiss. Thank you for the kiss. How are you? Did you decide to join our slumber party? Yeah. Yeah. May I have my cards? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You want to take that and I'll take this? All right, you can stay there. All right. Somebody, was it Michelle Taylor, wanted to know about the fires in California, right? Looks like Oregon, there was some challenges and fighting happening in Oregon, from what I could figure out, about people's concern about restrictions on logging, etc. And the fact that there was an ace of wands coming in, they got their wish. The fact that Biden came in feels to me, it feels very much like cooperation. It's interesting that the Ten of Pentacles came in, because Ten of Pentacles is an inheritance, which makes sense because you have people in Eastern Oregon that have 3 generations, 4 generations loggers. That's what they do in that part of the state. And so it's their family business, whether it's making paper or a pulp mill, or there's just a lot of that type of work that's family run, operated, etc. Okay, so now we're going to look at California. Yeah, you woke up? That's good. I'm happy for you. What is going on with the wildfires in California? Let us look. Ooh, there's 831 of us. Ooh, the new green economy. Very good. It keeps going back to how we harvest the trees, the logging industry, contracts with logging, stewardship. There's Biden. This is harvesting green capitalism, but it also can be taking from the tree, refusing to listen. There's, again, it's this fight between certain industries and the environmentalists. Interesting that this keeps coming up. And then the final outcome is an offer to help. So it looks like federal aid, an offer to help people who make business in that part of the world that is affecting climate change. Not good when you have a 2 of swords, because they're not wanting to listen, or there's this resistance from the timber industry, resistance from certain economies. Oh, it's interesting. Also, it's affecting exporting of timber, evidently, because 3 of Wands can be watching in and out, going in and out in trade, and the wood industry would be the Wands, and then the karma and an offering of healing. It's so interesting that everything is becoming hydroponic, including growing trees. There's this new development of massive greenhouses, massive vertical farming that they're now doing trees, apple orchards, etc. And so you would literally grow the entire tree with minimal amount of water and just harvest it. It would also be better to do it that way. First off, it would require less water. And secondly, it would be safer for the people that are harvesting the wood, because logging takes a lot of lives. And also theoretically, you could make it grow faster. But it's interesting, you have this healing happening in the Wheel of Fortune. So it's always the same thing when you go into it, whether it's Oregon or California regarding the wildfires. The opposition is from the people that make their money that way, the loggers, etc. And there's this conflict that happens between the 2 groups. And then there's some kind of cooperation that takes place. And so it always ends the same way, which is that ultimately we must cooperate if we want to survive, and that's what we do. We cooperate in order to survive, and we save ourselves. But the greater lesson here is cooperation as opposed to conflict. Interesting, very interesting. Right, Mila? She wants to fight. She's an Aries. She's only happy when she can fight. All right. Let's see. All right, we have a question. Is everybody having fun? Is anybody having a snack for the, what are you guys all eating? This is my peach fresca from Simply Organic. Peach juice, peach fresca. And they're sometimes a little too sweet, so you can add some ice water and ice, and then it's less sweet. I love peaches. And then my snack was just real simple. The simplest snack for me is just toast with sliced Tillamook cheese, sliced tomatoes, sliced cucumbers, radish, whatever, just sliced vegetables with cheese and butter toast. Delish. A little bit of onion. All right, so we're going to do Mexican food. Yum. Renee, I love Mexican food. Oh, too late for snacks. Well, you can do like ice water or something like that. Pretzels and almond butter. Yum, yum. Okay, so Serenity Springs asks, can you throw on Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, who wants to stop vaccinations and fired the public health physician in charge of vaccination? Will he be reelected or held accountable? Well, that's interesting because Tennessee probably has an increase in COVID because of that. Their feeling is that it's not the state's responsibility, it's the individual's responsibility. Whimsy, you don't look like you ever snack. Oh my God, I snack so much. I love food. The trick is to have it be healthy snacks like hummus and veggies and things like that. Oh no, Tennessee's beautiful. The South is going to rise again, right? The new green economy. Ooh, kielbasa and sauerkraut. Yum, yum. I love that. I made a vegan sausage from Beyond Beef and yummy. Had that a couple days ago. Okay, let's see what's going on in Tennessee. A new beginning in Tennessee. There's a new dawn coming for Tennessee. Put themselves in a knot, didn't they? They're working against their, it's interesting to get into his head. His feeling is, well, you got to talk to your doctor about whether or not you need to get a vaccine, but it's not the responsibility of the private health. Look at this. She's playing. It's not the responsibility of the restaurant to be your healthcare provider. That's the argument that they're making. It's a private health issue. Not understanding what we mean when we talk about public health. Public health means that it's not a private health issue, but they don't have public health education. This is the problem. So they don't understand that when we talk about public health, we mean that everyone's in danger. So it's part of their ethos. Eating too much. She's eating too much. All right. So there's a star over this. Interesting. What was his name? Bill Lee. He's got a star card there. Let's take a look. Bill Lee. You know, it's the same everywhere. It's like the future is leaving these people behind. That's the best way to describe it. The future is leaving these people behind. There's like a new beginning, possibly new leadership. And then here again, a new beginning. He put himself in this situation. People are walking away from old values. And then a star over the economy. I just think that Tennessee is going the same way. There's no other economy. People will change because they have to change. The only economy is the green economy. So it's just interesting to see it because here she is. It's just interesting to see it in the cards because it's like always. It's interesting also like from a cultural perspective where you have the old culture dying away and then you have the new culture coming up and how you have the resistance. It's like the 1960s when there were people that were burning Beatles albums because they thought they were from the devil. And now when you listen, now when you play All You Need Is Love or something, it's considered an old person's song, right? It's like the seniors all like it, right? But at the time it was considered controversial. So something we'll grow out of. And I don't see him having much of a future here because it keeps saying this. Look, they pulled double aces. The new economy. It's always talking about the new economy, a star over the new economy, people walking away from the old ethos. These are people who are outdated. I'm worried about Oklahoma a lot because I feel that Oklahoma is a very poor state. And if children are so neglected, like they are in some of these poor states, that they're not even being granted the right to a decent education that would teach them what global warming is, then that doesn't bode well for the future of poor states. Because as long as Oklahoma is ensuring that children remain uneducated, they're going to continue to vote in ways that uneducated people will vote. And so that's my concern. Speaking of that, Connie, does anybody know about 750 Native American school children found buried near a school? 750. Some of them with severe physical injuries, so they were beaten to death. What's amazing is how much this stuff people got. What's horrifying is that we can't allow this type of thing, people to get away with this kind of stuff. Well, they have to be held accountable. We have to hunt down. You shouldn't be allowed to break the law just because you're a church. All right, read on General Miley and what has just come out on Trump, please. So he was basically saying that they had a way of protecting themselves from Trump, right? Let's take a look at General Miley. General Miley. Miley. What was going on with him and the consequences of the things he was saying. Well, it goes back to, remember when I said he was giving his address and the generals were sitting in the front, and Millie was there, General Millie was there, and he looked like he was going to throw up. Do y'all remember that? And I said, wow, those generals hate this guy. And the guy that was just sitting there and didn't applaud once, that was General Millie. So, and probably didn't let his other people applaud either. All right, what you going to tell us, General Millie? It looks as if it's hard to describe what it looks like. It looks as if General Millie publicly shamed number 45 to such an extent that he found it difficult. Millie looks like he was an obstructionist. He not only obstructed and prevented Trump from doing certain things, but it looks as if he had him in a corner pouting. That's the best way to describe it, because you have this revelation coming in, Ace of Pentacles, confusion, Knight of Cups, and then the Emperor is to the side. So it's like outing somebody. You know, it's like, it feels as if Millie outed him, embarrassed him, shamed him publicly, and by doing that, stripped him of any power he may have had with the military. He sabotaged 45's ability to have control over the military. That's the best way to describe it. He had no problems publicly shaming him or calling him out or putting him in positions where he was disempowered. That's the best way to describe it. What do y'all think? Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Millie, this kind of energy with the leader off to the side, and and you have Millie in control. It almost feels like he was sitting there watching. You're not going to applaud. We are, just like what he said, we are apolitical. And he sat there and he made the rest of them sit there, and you're not going to participate in this crazy. So you did have that, a confrontation with the Seven of Cups clarification. Yeah, the facts, the data, Three of Pentacles. He took control over him. The leader is over him. So Millie controlled Trump. That's the best way I would interpret it. He also reported him. I think. I think Millie may have reported him. Yeah, because you have evidence over the cuckoo, the foundation of the cuckoo. They tied themselves in a knot, the false knight, romantic, and then the control of the emperor by the leader, King of Wands. So yeah, he was controlled. Interesting. It's an interesting way to look at it. So anybody planning a vacation now that you've gotten your those of you who've been vaccinated, anybody planning the new Celebrity Cruises is now carbon neutral. Norwegian Cruises carbon, and I believe now Princess. Oh, and Disney. Disney's carbon neutral. No, these are all green, recycling, no waste. So we're slowly getting there, right? We're slowly evolving towards the new economy. And I think it makes cruising better. I think that, having everybody safe, having everything be recycled makes it better. Well, they're saying now that the new green cruising is better for the environment than road trips, because if you have, say, 1,000 people getting in their cars and going into the forest or going into the parks, that's going to do more damage than if you take those 1,000 people and put them on one boat, one vehicle, and then you control the waste and you control the recycling and everything is carbon neutral. That's actually better than if everybody just took off and camped. And it's very camping can, if you're not careful, you have too many people on public lands, it can actually be really damaging. Also, they're all burning their own fuel. Cruises are like, no, Bugs Bunny. They check your temperature now, and you have to be vaccinated, and then they also do spots. Very safe now. Section 8. I went Norwegian. It was awesome. Norwegian is great. I just call them like breakfast in bed. I was like, I love this. And I don't drink alcohol. They're like, if you give us another $400, you can have as much alcohol as you like. I don't drink. Well, nobody on the boat is unvaccinated, so Delta virus wouldn't have any impact, because you can't get on the boat if you're not vaccinated. At least not the cruises I'm looking at. I wouldn't get on a cruise if everybody wasn't vaccinated. Oh, that's a really good question, Michelle. I think Michelle's asking some good questions today. Mm-hmm. All right, she's asking for Beverly Inkster. That's why she's got great questions, because she's helping. Okay, thank you, Beverly. Will the GOP connections to Russia finally come out, and will their people like Nunez finally be charged? Gosh, I hope so. Let's take a look. It's fun hanging out with you folks. I never come out at night. I always feel like, the day is over. It's fun. Let's see here. Nunez is going to be charged. Is anyone going to be charged that's associated with the Russia? Feds. Offers, right? Contraband. Take the gift. Take the gift. You need it. Russia wants to give you a little love. Take gifts. 6 of Cups can be bribed. Know what I'm saying? It has that. Please. From Putin with love. 6 of Cups. It's interesting also that you have the King of Pentacles, which can be the one who's got the secret money, right? So it can often be a federal investigation or something about hidden money in August, and then the ethos. So I think, something about an investigation about potentially compromised persons coming out relatively soon, in the next couple of weeks. It looks like if this is August. Ooh, yes, it's over. No more chocolates? No more love? No more chocolates, no more jewelry. No more yachts and no honey, no money, right? Not nice. Not nice at all. Hope, hope. Yeah. It can happen if you're like on a plane or something like that. If yeah, there's a time and a place to be careful. That's for sure. Okay. So, um, yeah, I would say that the compromise is over. That there's a federal look. You can see the federal investigation. Feds coming in and then under the microscope. By August, there's a new phase in the investigation. The month of August, a new beginning. And then something about walking away, corruption, poverty. Also, I think people are going to turn. It'll be interesting, who's going to turn on who. There's a lot of speculating which of the Trump children is going to turn first. Fears of poverty. What would you be willing to do in order to avoid prison if, say, for example, you were one of the people that took money, but you were an underling, and say they were going for somebody that was more important, or they're going after your dad. Say, if you were one of the Trump kids, who's the first one that's going to go? That's a question that a lot of people wonder. A lot of people say it's Ivanka. Definitely, if you go back to the remotes, the fact that Michael Cohen called Ivanka on some level what must mean that he thought that he could and that she was open to flipping. But if you go back to what he said in the remote, he said they've got everything. They hid stuff at Cohen's offices. They tried to destroy stuff, and once they had everything, that's why a lot of people think that Ivanka will go first. But let's take a look at Hope Hicks. Here's a good question by Connie Brown. Connie Brown writes, is Hope Hicks going to be spilling it soon? Very good question. Hope Hicks. What is the story with Hope Hicks, and will she be spilling it soon? Same thing. Yeah, I mean, they tried to get information from her, compromised, gifts, an offer about it, Trump, the star witness. Yeah, it's very likely that, it goes back to when she had to speak before Congress, that she had Trump's lawyers surrounding her. Because of the kind of energy around her prior to going back to work for Trump, I never really felt like I could totally trust her, because I just felt traumatized at one point. But let me just see this clarified. Yeah, they've already got a lot of stuff. You can see the son over the offer, the feds over it. I don't see her going to jail or anything. But there's definitely an investigation, and she's definitely going to have to talk if she hasn't already. And I don't see her having any future relationship with Trump because Trump's card, there's a page of swords, which can be a termination. It's also the sword of truth. The feds over the star. I would say at this point, with this type of juxtaposition, the two of swords over the six of cups, I would not be surprised if she broke off all contact with Trump and was cooperating with a federal investigation. Page of swords over Trump's card, a two of swords over a six of cups would indicate resistance. So, yeah, I could see her cooperating with an investigation against Trump with those types of cards. Interesting. Interesting. Ivanka, yes. Does anybody have doubts? Does anybody think that Ivanka is not going to flip? Maybe she won't. Maybe we got it all wrong. Maybe she loves her dad. And what do y'all think? Yes, no, maybe. So nasty woman. Yeah. She already flipped. She sold out. She flipped. Should we look one more time? What do you think? See, I think that what she did over the years was so serious. There's so much stuff, corruption they did. I could see her doing jail, if nothing else, what happened with the inaugural fund, because that was the main thing it looked like she was in trouble over. But let's see what's the future of Ivanka if she flipped. See if we can get some information about it. She's a flipper. All right, let's look. Ivanka. Star Witness. Family Secrets. The family. She's the star of the family. Look at that. Ooh, the ethos. Ace of Wands. We're going to be finding out more about it within a month. Some kind of deal is in the works, it looks like. What the heck are we looking at here? Oh, I see her back in New York. She wants to go back to New York. I don't think she wants to live in Florida. She misses New York. Man, they've totally burned their bridges over there. Yeah, she flipped. It's sad, you know. I think it's a sad ending for Donald Trump because it's like he's alone. Everybody, in the end, everybody left him. Oh, is that what she said? That she wanted to be near her mother? That makes sense because when I go into this energy, this is somebody that has certain places she loves to shop, certain places she loves to go to lunch with friends, the perfect day, places to go shopping, and all that's gone now. So there's this real desire. She wants to go back to that spa, to that restaurant, to those experiences, to those hangouts, to those friends. She picked her husband and kids. Very sad. Well, there you go. There you go. She definitely flips. Oh, let's find out if Ivanka's going to go to prison. Is Ivanka going to do prison time? Is Ivanka going to do prison time? Good question. Is Ivanka going to prison? She might be able to get out of it. This is like slinking out by the skin of her teeth almost. Oh my God, this is so weird. She can still avoid prison, but she's definitely not. Look, if it were me, I would put the past. Look at this. She puts the past behind her, smoother water. She picked her family. It's interesting. Somebody talking about her wanting to be close to her mother because that's basically what her mother did. Her mother got rid of Trump to protect herself and to get away from this toxic energy. And then it doesn't surprise me that she's hanging out with her mom and trying to get away from this guy because he has a personality disorder. So, yeah, very, very strange family, that's for sure. Prison is too good. What about the other kids? Do you think they'll flip, or do you think, a lot of it's interesting energetically, it almost feels like everybody is jumping to make a deal, and because they all want to avoid prison, so they'll do whatever they have to do to avoid prison, and so they're all ratting on each other, which is a great it's a great situation to be in if you're a prosecutor, right? No, he did it. No, he did it. I got records on him. Well, I got records on him. I got dirt on you. Oh yeah, I got dirt on you. It's like, and there's no loyalty amongst thieves, right? Yeah, maybe. Gavin Newsom. What do y'all think? You think Gavin Newsom is in trouble? Do you think he's facing? What do you think? Gavin Newsom. They want to recall him. I don't know. Gavin Newsom, are you going to have to leave? I can't believe his ex-wife is with Don G. God, you can't make this stuff up. She really doesn't like her ex. It looks like it's some kind of funded effort by Republican super PACs to destroy his power in California. That's the best way to describe it. You have a partnership here. We're talking about a love affair and a partnership regarding this. And we're talking about that the money may have come from questionable sources, because you have the juggler, which can be like a con artist, and then some kind of expertise. So it almost feels like a professional hit job with Newsom. His energy is interesting, which is that it's like he continues to communicate with Biden and people in the Democratic Party about the situation, but he also is just very focused on doing his job. Concerned about the world card being over him, because it could indicate also involvement, but maybe global hackers or some kind of a global aspect to it. Also, there's a tower moving in, some shocking information that's about to come out. It would not surprise me if his ex-wife was behind this, because for whatever history they have, his ex really hates him. Yeah, so this feels like she hates him. It's something about that. It's like that speech when she's talking about the liberals in California. She's talking of, it was like she was really trying to attack her ex. Let's see if Newsom is going to win. Okay, the future of Gavin Newsom. I would say he wins. Is he a fire sign? What sign is he? Grief right now comes in as the King of Wands. He has the star over him, and return. He returns back. So I think he'll be fine. I think he's okay. Oh, is someone going night night? Oh, did he reject her? Did Newsom reject her? I didn't know what happened. Oh, he's a Libra. Oh, he presents as a nice King of Wands here. Six of Cups is a great outcome for him. All right, folks. We've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, should I do? Okay, nasty woman. I can do more. Is it? Hi, Lisa. Lisa was going to she was going to join us in Georgia, but everything got rained out. I felt so bad for Michelle Knight. She went to the venue and she sunk into the mud. She was like, no. Oh, well. Mother Nature does whatever Mother Nature wants to do. All right, so I'm going to be gone for the next couple days. I'm going to try and record for everybody so you can see my vacation. I'll try I don't know I'm going to try and show up for Sunday. Wouldn't it be fun if I just did Sunday from my hotel room? That'd be cool, right? Sunday brunch from the hotel room. Yes, Michelle, the Trump properties are going to get raided and he's going to lose everything. He's going to lose Durango and all the others because he has to pay taxes. It goes back to what Trump's lawyer said to us 2 years ago. He's broke. All the money he earns, he pours back into those properties because it costs so much money to keep the doors open. So thank you, everybody, for the donations. Thank you for the love and support of the channel. If you're trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. Louis Vuitton doesn't work. Ooh, mean. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for hanging with me, and I hope you enjoyed the slumber party. Peace out. Night.